What's up, YouTube and fellow Guardians? Una here to bring you another video, and today we're going over Galactic War, and specifically I'm going to talk about this guy, my man EP. I've got him modded more for, or at least I'm going to mod him for, the AAT here with the crit damage. Speed's a little bad at 166, but that's just because most of my crit damage, crit chance are on droids, so I do, as you can see, have some potency 30 on here, which, you know, when it comes time to actually running the hat, I'll put that on there. And the other star of this show is going to be TFP. He's 216 crit damage with 224 speed. These two run Galactic War. And here, let me show you his crit chance, 42. So I got it over the 40% to make the crit damage actually mean something. Those are the main two. Today is EP and TIE Fighter Pilot Story, but just to be complete, I'm going to show you my Royal Guard. I got him here at 139 speed with a 44% potency. He's really just like a stunning tank type of dude. Boba Fett is just the new hotness. He's horribly modded, honestly. He's a C team guy for me. He's a Gear 8, and then Cad Bane, we got at Gear 8 as well. 134 speed, 180 crit damage, so both of those are horribly modded, underpowered, Gear 8, two Gear 8s. So, Boba Fett's a 6-star. But I'm going to show you TIE Fighter Pilot and EP are the absolute best thing to happen to Galactic War. I run every day Galactic War with those two. I've run into Zeta teams, I've run into pre-taunt teams, I've run into Churret. They absolutely rock. Sometimes, I'll still bring out the arena team, but the point of TIE Fighter Pilot and EP, as you'll see, is they're so flexible, but those two together, I can turn meter crank units that I could potentially use, okay? So, usually for this first wave, I'll always grab Qui-Gon Jinn, Geonosis Soldier, and I'll neb it in case I need, like, a fast taunt or something like that. So, I'll grab the units that I want to crank, and this will be a good way to go over them. I've got Geonosis Shoulder. He's only 180 speed, 185 speed, whatever that was. Decent, 166. Qui-Gon Jinn, no real crit damage there. Nebbit I'm working on for the tank. I got him at 174. But, they're not super fast tunes, So if I was going against, these meta teams that are 200, there's no way they'd be ready to go in time. So, first of all, EP, TFP, these guys are going to run this whole Galactic War. I'm going to bring some friends along, but once my friends are cranked, with the turn meter, I'm basically going to use those two to run the rest of the Galactic War. And you'll see the damage that I'm going to take here it's going to be minimal. I've gotten all the way up to Node 6 without taking damage, one time Node 9 without taking any damage. I know Wild Grunt did put out a video out there about running, the whole Galactic War with EE and, what's his name? Tebow, kind of like a raid team, and only taking 3 hits, and that team is absolutely fantastic. I used to run that. But what I really like about this team is TFP and EP just put out so much damage that they basically honestly run it by themselves. I did not look to see what the turn meter was. I didn't take any damage that round, did I? I'm totally not paying attention here. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this round real quick, and let's see how much turn meter my units have. So they're about halfway. Nebbit wasn't cranked at all, so let's back out. Okay, and if you haven't seen my Galactic War video, the mechanics one, definitely watch that. But, since I have those guys about halfway cranked, I'm going to bring in 2 new units, okay? The old way of doing, Galactic War was these two. But with EP and TFP, you can be so much lazier. I'm a huge fan of being lazy. There's just a lot less to kind of screw up with these two, that it's going to allow me to run this a lot faster than the method with Tebow and E. And I get that Tebow and E are much more accessible at younger and earlier levels. So definitely I'll make another video on those two running Galactic War. But just, with these new meta teams, I find myself needing the power. I need more energy, that I found myself going to these teams more often, these EP and TFP teams. So I just started kind of saying, well, hey, what if I just use them the whole time? And when they were Gear 8, I think I was getting up to Node 6, and then I'd have to kind of start switching out for some stronger teams when I was Gear 9. I think it literally went to Node 9 with them, and now I'm going to bring in some other units to turn meter crank. Old Ben just to kind of shut down, and then of course I don't have a very good ST Han, so with Galactic War I solved that by just turn meter cranking him, because turn meter carries over round to round. But in any case, yeah, so I don't even remember what the heck was I just talking about, guys. I'm sorry, but in any case, these two together. Let me look at that. He's just crit for 23k, and he just got, hits against both the Consular, against what's her name? Barris. Gosh, I hate Barris now, particularly since I'm trying to run an Empire team. But this team just really, really has a very easy time with Galactic War. When EP's cranked, when TIE Fighter Pilot's cranked, you get those buffs going. It's hard to stop those two. They just feed off of each other. They just annihilate the other team. The teams that these guys have problems with the most, I think, are kind of timeout teams. Okay, so that was definitely a hit. That was our first hit, and it was a monster hit from Barris, okay? It was against a reserve unit. I'm not really worried about it. I could restart this node and try and beat it without being hit, but that's not the goal, right? Wild Grunt did that with his, hey, I beat it with 3 hits or whatever. But this is really the lazy man's approach. Like I'm telling you, this is the way to go. Oh, I guess I should have substituted him out. Well, let's see what... Okay, so I got Han cranked, but Old Ben and Lando could use some work on their turn meter. So let's go ahead and back out. Let's pull out Han. Let's put in... Do we care about Lumi? No, I don't use her anymore. We're going to put in Royal Guard because he's going to start to be the guys that make this work. So really the core of this is EP and TFP, okay? Because what happens is since they're going to be continually turn meter cranked and they're already decently fast and hit really hard, they're going to keep the enemy stunned from the first round with EP, because you kind of want to hopefully carry over that stun each round. You're going to have TIE Fighter Pilot ability block and lay down buffs, and that's going to give himself turn meter, because for every buffed enemy after his attack, he can potentially do that. He gets more turn meter, and also he gives himself the foresight that, when you go against a Qui-Gon Jinn, it's like a magnet for Qui-Gon Jinn's dispel. He's like, let me dispel this foresight from you, TIE Fighter Pilot. And I would gladly let him do that every time, because it's just a missed move, and no one gets the offense up, and it's just fantastic. So what units to support them? So first, crank your units like I just did, the first few nodes. Then what I do is I choose Royal Guard, because he gets that extra potency stun. I choose Cad Bane, and you can either use like Jawa or you could use Boba, any other hard-hitting damage dealer. I know mines are only gear 8, but that just speaks to the power of this team that I'm taking down. I take down G10, G11 teams with just these two, at least with the Galactic War mechanic of being able to have them cranked. So why choose Royal Guard? Why choose Cad Bane? Why choose Boba? Boba's there because he also lays down the debuffs, and he does the ability block, right? So that gives your team almost like 2 turns to go, because they go once, the other team can only do a basic, and then your team goes again. Cad Bane, I love Cad Bane, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Okay. Truth be told, he's not very good. All right, I'm a realist. Okay, so there's another hit. So that's my second hit or whatever. What node am I on? I don't know. And it's not worth restarting. I'm just going to keep going. Because like I said, this isn't a how little can you get hit. It's just to show off the power. But Cad Bane has increased damage against Jedi, and you see tons of Jedi throughout this Galactic War. Okay, so that was node 5. So he's going to do more damage. Okay, so here's a good example. So droid teams, I'm going to take out my Boba here. Or should I take out Cad Bane? I'm going to take out Boba. And I'm going to put in Jawa, just because his mass AoE stun is very useful against droids. But Cad Bane, not only does he do more damage against these Jedi, like right here, why is Qui-Gon Jinn in this team? I don't know, but he's a Jedi, and Cad Bane will, when it comes time to attack Qui-Gon Jinn, he'll definitely do more damage. But he's got that unresistible or unavoidable stun. So even through foresight, even through, whatever you want to put against him, and I hate the stupid dodge mechanic, but he bypasses that and has a chance to not only stun them for a turn, but remove like 100% turn meter against Jedi, 40% if Omega against non-Jedi enemy, that you gain 2 turns almost against an enemy. Cad Bane is awesome for Galactic War. I don't think he's quite there for arena and stuff like that, but we're talking about just Galactic War, where you get that speed advantage, that first move advantage. He is so awesome at being able to take away almost 1.5, 2 turns by potentially stunning and removing all turn meter from people, particularly Jedi. I know a guy on our guild, he was talking about Ayla Sakura. He really likes Ayla, JKA, EP, TFP, and Royal Guard. So basically the back 2 would be Ayla and JKA. And that's a very, very strong team too. I don't have those 2, so I don't bring them. That's why I'm saying the core of this is EP and TFP. But what Ayla does is stun, right? She's very similar to Cad Bane, and probably better. She's got like that great health tool. She can kind of do that special move that heals a little bit. I mean, I'm going to say she's probably definitely better than Cad Bane. It's just Cad Bane's what I have access to. But the idea is bring along another stunner and damage dealer. Can't think of who else could do that. I'm thinking, they're releasing Krennic now. We don't really know what his capabilities are. We don't really know what he's going to be doing, but we know, he can stun attackers, and we know he's quite strong. So, maybe he would work. Maybe he would work with, the Death Trooper too. I'm sure that'd be an awesome combo. But Ayla, Cad Bane, definitely approved. And then I used, like I said, Boba for the mass ability block, and he's a damage dealer. And I kind of forgot to put in Royal Guard, didn't I? Oh well. And I just got hit again because of Counter Dooku. But, hey, whatever. I don't really care. Because I'm telling you, this team's, like, so powerful, it doesn't even really matter. So to count officially, that's two hits now against my core team, and I took that one hit against Lando. And then Royal Guard's another stunner. So you've got, the damage dealers up the front line, Boba, EP, TFP, going first, laying down the ability blocks, laying down the stuns, okay? Then you got another stunner, just to mop up in case you didn't, in case EP didn't get his job done. You've got a stunner with Cad Bane. You've got another stunner with Royal Guard, and Royal Guard jumps to the taunt where needed. This team is just very, very strong when it comes to Galactic War, when it comes down to laying down those debuffs and stuff like that. We're talking about weaknesses for this team. Okay, so here's actually a very challenging node, because I know I'm going to set off this stupid Biggs and his horrible turn meter thing. I'm going to see, okay, I'm not going to be able to stun them. What I want to do is put shock. Okay, there you go. So once you get shock down on Biggs, when you come across like Wigs do teams and stuff like that, then it's pretty much open season for the AoEs where you don't have to, so we got the counter from him. It's pretty much open season on these guys. And that's another nice thing about TIE Fighter Pilot is you'll see that dodge mechanic is you could use him to hit those characters that typically counter attack, and they'll just miss because of his foresight, which it's so good. In any case, yes. So honestly, you guys have got to do this team. I haven't been talking much about strategy because, as you guys know, the first 7 nodes are pretty easy. Sometimes 6 can be a little tricky. It just depends. But you'll see I've got like shock, I've got ability block, I got buff immunity on people. This team is just awesome at laying down the buffs, shutting down the opponents, and that's how the Empire wins a lot, is just by keeping those debuffs up, keeping the opponent locked down, and just bringing the pain. So okay, so enough about the team. That's how you can construct it. That's how I go after it. And I realize it's kind of like a mid-game team because, with EP, you got to have Rebels in order to even pull them. So, okay, what do we have for Gear 9? Okay, so it doesn't look like a super crazy meta team. Maybe we'll get one of those for 11. 12 tends to be just triple tanks garbage. It's 12's never hard these days, is it, guys? All right, so what do we want to do here? We want to try and stun, and I hope we get a stun on Fies. We do. Okay, so here's a good example. I've got Cad Bane, and do I want to lock Lando? I'm not, since I have a Royal Guard. So what I'm going to do is use my second stunner, Royal Guard, which does stun on a basic. Hey! And there you go. You got a full team stun for Team 9, which is normally a really hard team. And you can see I'm whacking away at these guys. They got a ton of health. I'm gonna focus on Fies for a little bit here, just because I hate his counter. It can really put a lot of damage into your team. Obviously, for Arena, I would have been taking out like Lando. I'd have been taking out Qui-Gon Jinn, Phasma first. But this is an Arena, right? This is Galactic War, where your goal is to preserve as much health as possible. See, Lando's not going for a little bit. If I do that shock there, I know it hurts Rebels. Let's go ahead and take Lando out. I got Foresight up. I'm gonna try and take out. I could shock here. I'm gonna shock because these guys are all shocked now. So now they're all gonna be stunned. So yeah, look at that. I don't think they've taken a turn yet, have they? So am I still just at 3 hits, 4 hits? What am I at? I don't know. Not many. That wasn't my goal, but my goal was really to show you how powerful EP, TFP feed off of each other, particularly when it comes to pairing them with some stunners and another damage dealer. So yeah, look at that. I'm gonna skate out of this with very, very little. Oh, whoops! I guess I should have not activated his taunt because sometimes. So when you have a shock on an opponent and then you stun, that shock goes away. It's part of that mechanic of the stun. So I forgot about that. So I got to chew through him real quick. But it looks like I'm not gonna take any damage from Node 9 at all. And a lot of that, I mean, it's partly luck too, right, guys? I mean, I could have fired off that EP, and he might not have stunned 4 of the 5 people. I could have backed out, chosen Jawa, tried the stun again. Maybe the stun would stun a different amount of people. Because, you know, if you have different teams, the outcomes are different. If you didn't know that, go check out my other Galactic War video. It walks over some of those mechanics, but right now I'm getting pretty lucky. So 10 tends to be just really weird, honestly. Like, what is this team? I don't know. This guy needs to play a team that he likes, that he thinks are fun. So what we want to do here is we want to make sure that at the end of this round that we continue to use basics. We want to. I always shut down Darth Vader because I hate his Force Crush or whatever it's called. But we want to use all of our specials in the beginning, and then what we want to do is start using our basics towards the end, because we want to make sure that our our AOE from TFP and our AOE from EP are ready. And that's really all you need to know for strategy, is just make sure your AOE from TFP, your AOE from EP, your AOE from Boba, and your stun, whether it's Ayla or Cad Bane, are ready for nodes 9 and 11 and 12. So, just basic at the end of those fights, and you should be good. It shouldn't be too much harder than that. Am I gonna get away from this round without a hit too? Oh man, I think I'm at 4 hits now, so I'm definitely not that my goal. That was my goal. I'm definitely not one-upping the Wild Grunt video, but you could see that this team definitely compares. It's just as good as one of those turn meter control teams. Just by laying all those debuffs, all those stuns, you can just run Galactic War, and it's super duper easy. So definitely work on your rebels to get EP, guys. I mean, EP is just, he's a monster. Okay, let's see what we have here for node 11. Is this going to be an EP? Oh, we get a really easy Galactic War today, guys. I will definitely, I'll fire up some more videos. We can definitely pull in some videos in the future that have some more meta teams, and you can see how I deal with those. I it's nothing wrong with bringing out your arena team. If I had one time I had what's his name, Super Donkey. He's a Team Skunk member who's got Zeta, Qui-Gon Jinn. He's got GK, General Kenobi, and he's got Yoda. So it was a sick and hard team to fight. I had to break out the droids to take them down, and then I went back to TIE Fighter Pilot and EP and just ran the rest of the Galactic War after that. So that's another nice thing about this team, is you can turn meter, crank all your guys. I didn't bring out any guys yet. I'm focusing here on Barriss because every turn she just removes all these buffs. So what I do is I keep her low, and what I do is I start hitting the other teammates and stuff like that to kind of start hitting them down. But I keep her the lowest so that way she doesn't remove, the shock that I have on, and ability buff that I have on Royal Guard here, that I don't remove the T-Bow thing here. Okay, let's take the shock here. Let's take him out. And and I hate 5s as counter, so let's go ahead and shock him. EP or stun him. Oh, I can't select him. That is a bunch of doo-doo poop. Ugh. So even if he's stunned, you can't. But if he's stealthed, you can't target him. That's a bunch of doo-doo. All right. So let's go ahead and take out T-Bow. No, he's up. So let's go ahead and shock him. All right. So now I'm gonna ruin this whole video by taking all these hits now from 5s because he's being. Oh, maybe if I could stun him. Of course not. He's got the tenacity down. He knows he's being recorded, so he's showing off. So now I'm going to take a whole bunch of hits from this 5's jerk. All right, come on, let's go, guys. Okay, another hit. Oh, and another hit. Thank you, 5s. I appreciate it. Oh, and he didn't get stunned again. And he's got tenacity down. What is this? Okay, thank you. Oh, yes. Can I have another one? Thank you. Oh, my God. So that right there is why. Like I said, it could be EP doesn't stun, Royal Guard doesn't stun. It doesn't matter how good you do. RNG is going to get you, and then clones. I hate Rex Lead. I find with this Rex Lead, sometimes I'll bring out a Rebels team just to do the bigs one shot, finish people off sooner. Oh, and he's got B2 with him. How annoying. All right, first of all, we need to stop B2 from going every other turn, and that is what EP is good at. And I'm going to try and keep Rex just stunned, because I need to work on Anakin, and I need Rex not to do his cleanse, because then B2 is going to start punishing me. Perfect. And then I'm going to go ahead and remove his taunt with Boba. I know that was a waste, but honestly, the goal here is really to work on Anakin. Anakin is the biggest threat. He's got to go, and I've got to need to get EP to go again so that way I can shock him. There you go. See, I keep Rex locked again. Okay, there we go, EP. So now we're going to keep B2 shocked, and we're going to go back to work on Anakin since Rex is currently stunned. This is going very, very well. Of course not, Fives. Ugh. Fives is just being a jerk for the video today, I'll tell you that. And we're going to go ahead and see. So I targeted Rex there so that he wouldn't do his cleanse. And then finally took out Anakin. It took a long, long time, but you can see how this team, with the stun locks and stuff like that, I'm not treating this like I would. I'm right now, this match right here, I'm treating this like Arena, but normally I wouldn't. But you can see this team, it just, I mean, again, the Cad Bane is gear 8. Boba is gear 8. Royal Guard is gear 9. These guys aren't super powerful. I'm not running a maxed out team who's going to hit auto for the rest of this because this is the last node and I've got plenty of other characters to finish off. But you can see the power of EP and TFP. They carried me through it. I'll record some more videos. I didn't hit any super meta teams, but like I said, the goal of these guys are just to turn meter crank, run through Galactic War where you can kind of preserve most of your characters, because that's what Galactic War is. It's a gauntlet, if you will, of trying to run through it. So these two really just with stunning off the bat, laying down those debuffs and ability blocks, it just shuts down the enemy team. And since you have that turn meter advantage since it's Galactic War, it's hard to beat. So I really just can't recommend EP TFP enough. Definitely work on your rebels so that you can have them ready, and then just run Galactic War with them. So good luck with your farming, guys. Get those Galactic War finishes every day. You're gonna make me proud. So signing out, Una. Later.